Okay, enough medical discussion.
Such a craftsmanship.
I know.
Is Freddie coming?
haven't heard from him.
There's bog turtles on the property.
They're all over.
Are they driving now?
Find a spot in the village that.
Are they driving now?
It's
They're
not-
getting everywhere.
Is not within the circle.
Hello.
Wednesday, October 26th, 2022.
I was like, I thought I fixed it. I felt like I was moving. I was like, I'm moving.
Yeah, I think I had that seat the last meeting.
We have enough for a quorum, no? Did Fred respond at all?
Well, he was at the site visit.
Sorry, that's Wisconsin. Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready, yeah.
Okay. All right, this is the October meeting of the Village of Pawling Zoning Board of Appeals. We will start with the roll call. Okay.
Thomas Rick, he is,
Oh, there's Fred. All right.
Fred?
Tom Zarecki is excused because his father is here, so can't appear.
Nicholas Borley,
Here?
Ann Hardman,
Here.
Freddie DeVito.
Here.
And Michael Cooper.
There. And we also have Karen Rudeau and Bob Lusardi, our attorney. And would people please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we just have one item on the agenda. It's
Minutes.
the minutes. Thank you, Iris. With the minutes. Has everyone on the board had a chance to look at the minutes from our last meeting, which was actually,
June 22nd.
yeah, we had a break there for a while.
I have.
Yes. Any additions, corrections, alterations?
No, it looks to be in order.
No, everything's fine.
I like the thoroughness of your descriptions in the minutes. It's very good.
Well, I make a motion to accept the minutes of the June meeting as presented.
I will second the motion.
All in favor? Aye. Aye, minutes are accepted. Well, thank you. All right, so our item tonight is the Happy Life Animal Rescue. And before we get started, I should mention that 2.5 years ago, I contacted Happy Life to come and catch a feral cat on my property and take the cat away to be altered, and also take her 7 kittens. So, and then the kittens, I guess, were adopted out and the feral cat came back. But, so I do have, that was 2.5 years ago, and I had no
Spayed or
connection.
Neutered, so she
Yes.
could have no more.
So I do have that, I just want to make that aware that I have that connection with Happy Life. All right, so Joe, you're representing Happy Life.
Right.
I think the first thing, there are 2 things here that we're supposed to deal with. If we, depending on how we deal with one, we may not have to, probably won't deal with the other. It's about the use. Is the use, we wanted, the use has been as an animal, it was a vet, now it's an animal rescue. Is that a change of use? What we need is an interpretation, right, Joe?
Correct.
Okay, so would you like to,
I'll just give you a little, I'd like to introduce you to Lorraine and Roy Barther, the owners. And Rob Apple's here also with us. And of course, I'm Joe Zarecki. And Happy Life is a rescue, and they adopt and provide temporary housing for dogs and cats. And that was the housing part of it that we talked about. Back in, I guess it was 1961, they were granted variances for the use as an animal hospital. And for 60 years, they've been operating as an animal hospital. And then back in 1999, an area variance for the property for an addition that was put on the property was granted. And so we had the area variance and the variance for the for the animal hospital. Since that time, there's been no changes to the original site plan. We did provide a new updated survey showing that everything that was supposed to be on the site plan is still there, and the project is not proposing any changes outside or even inside, except for maybe furniture and things like that. It has 20 indoor kennels. There's only about 10 or 15 animals that come in, and they're only there temporarily, and they have 4 outdoor runs. So interior-wise, there's nothing changed. So, as you said, Chairman, that this wanted the planning board wanted us to come to the ZBA for the interpretation that it's a continued and not a change of use in the type of facility was there. And to continue the use when they purchased the property.
okay. Anyone have any questions of Mr. Jarecki?
I have no questions. Although I wasn't on the site visit on Saturday, I just want to mention I am very familiar with the site. I used to bring my pets there years ago, so I know the property well, and I go to some of the nearby businesses as well, so I'm familiar with its location and what's around it, and I've been in the building as well.
Okay. Ann, Fred, anything?
No, I also used to take my cats
Mhm.
there for medical services,
Mhm.
so I am familiar. Also, I was on the site visit.
I mean, I never understood why that area right there on 22 is actually zoned R1. It never made any sense to me why they zoned it that way, because it's commercial. There are several businesses there, they're all commercial. Across the street, you have the old Agway, which is, I forget what it is it medical, physical therapy or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Yeah. Then you got the Peel Center, you've got the Morrissey's Horse Pullmans. There was an effort several years ago to come up with a new plan for 22. Changed the zoning there, but it never really went anywhere. But it just strikes me kind of odd. I mean, nobody's gonna build a single-family house along there. So really the only thing for it, for that area is something of a commercial nature, a business nature, so.
That zoning probably harkens back, Michael, to when it was a house owned by Philip Joars, I guess, previous to 61, and I guess it just never changed, although it
changed,
probably
no.
was a residence back then.
Yeah,
It was granted for, the use was granted for a different purpose
Yeah.
in 61, but it just
I mean, there
never
were.
changed after that.
There were other businesses there. There was, the auto parts store has been there for a long time. There was
Mhm.
where the electric guy is, that was an antique store
Hmm.
for a long time. So there were other more businesses than residences. And the property behind the clinic, behind this subject property, is all part of the Smith-Johnson Scout cabin. So there's a lot of vacant land there,
Mhm.
and then it goes up the hill to where the Scout cabin is. So it's not as if there are residential houses anywhere around there.
Mhm.
It's very, very commercial through there, so. Bob, do we have to, since it's interpretation, do we have to go through the variance questions? I don't think so.
No, if the determination of this board is that, as a matter of interpretation, there's no change of use here, which means essentially that the use variance that was granted in 1960, whatever it was, 61, which granted a use variance to use the property for a veterinary hospital, whether that is essentially the same use as an animal shelter.
Mhm.
And the definition in the zoning code for veterinary clinic presently is an office designed for the care and treatment of animals, which may also provide for the boarding of animals.
Mhm.
And I think, the boarding of the animals is what the rescue does. I think they also do some treatment of animals. So that comes there to treat the animals. So the question for interpretation is whether or not there is any change of use here.
Right.
Right. Should we open up discussion with
Well,
public
first,
comment?
yes, Karen, do you have anything to?
So previously I had also emailed Vivian the
Mhm.
copies of the definitions that Bob just read out to
Yeah.
you. And yeah, I mean, I think the task at hand is to consider whether the veterinary hospital in the area variance granted is similar to the proposed use. And I think
Mhm.
the key phrase is that veterinary clinic in our code includes kenneling.
Mhm.
And I think that speaks for itself,
All right.
personally.
We also have a memo from the building department from Graham Kenny, the inspector, and he goes through a whole page of, about the code, and the key thing is his interpretation at the end, where he says, "It is the opinion of the code enforcement official that there is no difference in use designation under New York State regulations between an animal hospital and animal rescue. Therefore, the proposed use of the property remains consistent with the existing use and the existing approvals." So, Graham Kenny, the code enforcement officer, has no problem with it. So, at this point, Joe, do you have anything else you want to add?
I just wanted to make sure that procedurally, there was a post for the public hearing, and I didn't know if you were supposed to open it and then close it, or?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know if you were gonna do that.
Yeah, we're gonna open the public hearing. I make a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second that
Okay,
motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, the public hearing is open. Would anybody like to make a comment? Yes, sir.
I am a
Statement.
resident, my name is Dan Welsh,
Yes.
resident of Pawling,
Mhm.
and also an end user of that wonderful facility.
Okay.
I've known Lorraine and Roy for a bunch of years, and not only do they provide a service where they're rescuing these canines and felines, but the way they handle their operation, which would be relevant to the clinic, because I too had canines that were visited by Dr. Schutz way back when.
Mhm.
So the transforming from a take care of the dogs to take care of the dogs is consistent with everything we've heard tonight.
Mhm.
But just to let you know that their operation is top-notch. Yours truly has adopted 2 canines from them.
Mhm.
Lorraine knows how to match people with their animals. And it may sound a little weird, but if you're a dog lover or a cat lover, and you're seeking to either add 2 or just have a brand-new pup to start with, they advise in such a way that, number one, they would not allow an end user to take a animal out and put it in a home that's not appropriate. So they know their stuff, they know their craft, they know that what they're doing, if you love dogs and cats, is a service that works. So using that facility to harbor animals, and I've been there inside, it's clean, it's well maintained. There may be issues with the building that need to be discussed, but that's either here nor there at the moment. Simply put, they know what they're doing. Having that facility there, I think, is a public service of sorts, because they have found hundreds of homes for these wayward creatures who deserve a home. So I think in deference to what they want to do versus what they're doing presently will be consistent with the use of the building and with the way they run the in and out of it, I think will be a benefit to Pawling. So I just wanted to make that clear that I know them, and I felt that you guys should know that what they do is a valid and valuable service.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Mr. Apple?
My name is Rob Apple. I'm counsel to the Forsters in connection with the purchase of the property and operation of the facility. I just want to point out that as an additional service to the community, they've been approached to assist the town's animal control officer in the placement of dogs, cats, and possibly other animals. And they've been reluctant to do so because they were concerned about this permitted use. And they would be happy to take on that responsibility for the village and the town. If you rule favorably for them, so, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Rob. Anyone else? No one else? All right, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that, Michael.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing is closed. Do we have any discussion on the board on this? How you feel?
My thought on this, Michael, is that this use is consistent. I agree with Graham's interpretation. It seems pretty clear that if anything, What they're doing is less of an operation than what had been there previously in the way of full veterinary services. They are doing a part of that. There seems to be no residents nearby that would have any issue with noise or sound emanating from there, whether it was a barking dog or yowling cats. I think that this is definitely consistent with its previous use, and I would be very favorable in granting them a continuance of this slightly different use, but very consistent use.
Well done, all set, I agree.
Okay.
I do also, and you know, having read the, excuse me, the material that was sent to us yesterday, I find that there is a consistency of usage. I find that very compelling.
Yeah, when we were there on Saturday morning, I mean, it was, everything was, you know, ship-shape. There were a few dogs and some kittens and things, and everything was, I mean, you heard a couple dogs bark, but I mean, you get that anywhere. I mean, that's to be expected. But when they saw me, they started barking and things. Thought I was gonna play with them, I guess. No, it's, yeah, probably less of an impact than it was before, certainly not more so. The number of animals might rise and fall, but it's you know, something that's been a service to the community that is with the taking care of animals for a long time, and it's good that it can continue. I mean, we don't, you know, the vet that was there has left, and we don't need some other type of business there. This is an excellent use of the property, continuing in this same tradition. So, this
Mr.
point,
Chairman,
yes.
just make one point of clarification, and Mr. Zarecki, correct me if I'm wrong, it's my understanding that the initial request is for an interpretation that there's no change of use between the one that was approved in 1961 and present use. So if you take a vote on that particular issue and your determination is that there's no change of use, there's no need to deal with any variance issue.
Right,
Okay.
yes, yeah. Well, then I make a motion that there is no change of use, that the interpretation is that it is allowed, and there is no need for a use variance to allow them to be there.
I will second that, Michael.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried unanimously.
Just point of order, Mr. Coop.
Yes.
Just clarification. Just in furtherance of what your counsel just mentioned to you, I want to be clear for my client's purposes and any future owners of the property, that it's the board's determination. I just want to be clear that it's the board's determination that the current use as an animal rescue is permitted under the existing variance and the use variance, and that no further action will be required on our part?
Yes, that's
Correct.
true.
Thank you.
That's correct, Rob. All right. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Anybody wants to? I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do we have to discuss an escrow item?
Oh, no,
No?
that
Okay.
was taken care of.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Just wanted to make sure before we adjourn.
All right.
Okay, just one other thing.
Uh,
Then I will second the motion to adjourn the meeting, Mike.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Meeting's closed.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, good luck to you guys.
Yes.
Thank you
Happy
very much.
rescuing.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hope to see you all.
Stop by.
Stop by, pick up a pet, right?
Yeah.
Cute kid and a cute puppy.
Or just hang out.
You can come and hang out and have coffee with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll just.